Good morning, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, academic staff, guests, and my fellow graduates. I'm honoured to stand before you today as a UniSQ graduate and as your valedictorian. When I found out I was to have the honour of delivering this speech today, I was both excited and nervous. Excited to proudly represent you all, and nervous that I do our university experience justice. How could I adequately encapsulate the hardships, the triumphs, the journeys of each and every one of you? So I thought I might begin by focusing on what we all have in common, and that is that the road was not an easy one. We've all faced the weekends lost, the crushing pressure of assessments, and the adrenaline coursing through your body as you hit submit 17 seconds before midnight. A personal best of mine. Despite these challenges, we have persevered and emerged graduates. But we were not alone in this journey. We've all had people close to us who have supported us these past years through the pressures and challenges of university life. I would like to thank my mum, dad, my partner, and my sister for your unwavering support throughout my journey. There's no doubt that without you, I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd like to thank all those in attendance, family, friends, and academic and professional staff. You've each touched the lives of the graduates in this room today, and for many of us, this milestone is as much a symbol of our own hard work and dedication as it is yours. So thank you. The journey was not an easy one, but as all journeys do, it began with a first step, the first leap of faith to pursue a dream. For me, this began in high school, where I was just a kid with a love of reading and history. As far as I was concerned, school was the best. I could run around with my mates at lunch, write essays on my favourite books, and make lasting memories each and every day. So I found it surprising that so many people didn't share my enthusiasm for school and for learning. There were many of my mates who dreaded turning up each morning and were filled with anxiety when report cards were due. Seeing this, I tried to make each day at school a brighter one for those around me. And through small efforts to support my friends in both their studies and their lives, I felt that I made a difference. It must have been a particularly good feeling because despite the constant teenage outbursts and overwhelming stench of BO by the lockers, I thought I'd chance my arm as a high school teacher. And so when I set out to enrol in a Bachelor of Secondary Education, again, I was surprised by the lack of enthusiasm that I was met with. Whenever I told someone the career I was about to pursue, most people would wince and shake their heads with a bit of a wry grin. Perhaps the most common response I got was, "Why would you want to do that?" Since then, I've grown used to this question and brushed it aside whenever it's come up. But it's only as I've edged closer to completing this degree that I began to reflect on this a little more. Why did I want to do this? There were so many other careers I could pursue to help kids, and yet I chose to be a teacher. Why? And the answer was a simple one. Education gives people the power to change their lives. On one of my first practical experiences, thank you. On one of my first practical experiences in a school, I met a very challenging young boy. He'd show up 2 or 3 days a week, and when he did show up, the classroom was a vastly different place. He would refuse to do his work, didn't like talking to teachers, and one particularly poor lesson, he started scrapping with a classmate at the back of the room, as you do. I've always tried to be a patient teacher, but this boy tested me a lot. It was only after a conversation with my supervising teacher that I began to understand what he was going through. His family life was very rough. He was essentially homeless, and he would come to school in a uniform and shoes that didn't fit. So with kindness and patience, I slowly tried to break these barriers down. He had his good days and bad ones, but he began to turn in work, he knuckled down in history, and his attitude slowly mellowed. On my final week there, he showed up every single day and achieved his first passing mark in a long while. When I returned to the same school 2 years later, this young man recognised me, shook my hand, and spoke about his favourite subjects, his career aspirations, all things I never would have dreamed I'd hear from him. And whilst it might not be shocking that a high school teacher would profess the power of education, it makes it no less true. When you leave this hall today, you leave with more than a qualification. You leave with an education. You leave with power. Take pride in what you've accomplished and take notice of how you've changed. And so if I can leave you all with a final thought, it would be to live as though you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. Let this incredible achievement be the start of your learning journey and may you all experience success and happiness in what lies ahead. Thank you and congratulations.